evening, everybody. And tonight we're going to talk about one of my favourite subjects with Irena. Irena, hi, welcome to the Help Yourselves podcast.
Hi, Lilia. Very
We
happy
are
to be here.
We are going to be talking about EFT and energy psychology. So thank you so much for coming on. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It was a glorious day today with
Oh,
sun.
wasn't it just? It was
Edinburgh.
absolutely fantastic. Now, can you tell us? Now, you're originally from Bulgaria,
I
but
am.
you've been in Scotland for what, nearly a decade.
Yeah,
Can you
yes.
tell us? Well, when did you start getting into energy psychology?
Oh, it was in 2009 when I hit my rock bottom, I'm afraid. This is when you are desperate and you're looking for help. And I wasn't looking for help at the time. I was on a very stressful corporate job in a bank. My husband and I were bankers. And I was very narrow-minded, I'm afraid. Although I thought using Reiki or self-hypnosis, I would deal with it, but it didn't work. So I came across this book that had been lying on my bedside table for a while called The Promise of Energy Psychology. And, you go to these things when you're really desperate and nothing works. And it worked for me. And I was so amazed that I felt I must learn more. And within 2 months, we were in England together with my husband, to study with one of the EFT masters. It
Who
was
was that?
amazing.
Who did you study with?
I studied with EFT master Carl Dawson, who's the creator of matrix reimprinting. And this is another love of mine. He studied with Gary Craig, and eventually I studied with Gary Craig himself just before he retired. Gary Craig is the creator of EFT, and he recently passed away. Probably you know.
Yes. So I love these stories from cynic to it's just incredible. Hi Laura, how you doing? And I think that's when we get as you say, you get desperate and you'll try pretty much anything, and then you're absolutely shocked when it works.
Yes, it worked. And it was a wow moment because I felt it so profoundly. I felt it in my body and I felt so different. Like nothing else before created this kind of effect. So I thought, my goodness, this is really worth exploring.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, this is how I came to Gary Craig, and he had an amazing website with a lot of testimonials from people, lay people, professional people, sharing their success stories with EFT. And it's amazing to read how people just downloading his manual, his 80 pages manual, have achieved tremendous results where nothing else worked in various areas, starting from physical pain that we are going to tap on tonight, but also allergies or difficult emotions or bothersome memories. Even I remember there was something like clearing negative energy, like obsession, all sorts of things. And because I'm creating a similar community in my home country in Bulgaria before we left to Scotland, and my students have been telling me how they had been mending their computers instead of calling for
right, that's a new one in me.
And there was a woman who said he shared her story how she went she went on MOT and her headlight wasn't working, and she didn't get it. Her car didn't pass, and she was desperate because she desperately needed the car. She went on the parking lot, did tapping, absolutely frustrated, and then the headlights worked, and she went again and passed. And the man there, the technician, was very angry, but he couldn't refuse.
Yeah. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Now, am I right? Was it more for emotional stuff you were doing it for? Or was it physical?
Absolutely. Absolutely. EFT is the most amazing tool to deal with negative emotion, because most of the people focus on being positive, or focusing on the positive energy, or creating more positivity and gratitude and thankfulness. These are all superb things. But we do not recognize how underneath, just a little bit under our subconscious level, there is something going on. And I can tell you a story, my personal story. One day, but probably it was a bit difficult day, but nothing really special, nothing that was worth tapping on. Maybe a project that didn't go well, or something that my local acupuncturist didn't do well either. And I was watching a film, Miss Harris Goes to Paris, and I was thinking, with this skeptical mind, thinking, this is another Cinderella story. And being this grumpy, unrealizing how grumpy I was. In an instant, I had this thought, my goodness, Mrs. Harris sees the world in a different way. And in an instant, I also had this view as if I was looking through the eyes of my granny, who didn't have the things that I had in life, who was an orphan, by the way, and who loved me dearly. And in an instant, I realized that I wasn't grateful.
Oh, yes.
And
Wow.
I think that sometimes even EFT is not necessary to wake up, to have this moment of profound awareness and to connect to something bigger and more important. But EFT helps a lot, I have to say.
Well, yeah, of course it does. But you're absolutely right. Because I know that that's certainly my own story as well. I spent years not being grateful and focusing on things that were difficult and hard, and because life hadn't turned out the way I'd expected it to. And yeah.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
So that is really, and to see it through as because generations back, they went through far harder times than us, usually. But they're so much more resilient.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm the spoiled one, the one that had a lot of blessings in my lifetime. It's human nature, perhaps, that we start taking it for granted and look for the next, for the greener grass over there.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's the thing. And I think, it's all the kind of Walt Disney movies of what we expect. If somebody had just explained, look, this is probably how it's going to be. Curveballs are going to come. You're going to have to learn how to duck and dive. And again, that whole being honest with yourself and being aware of your behavior and how it's affecting your body, which is really probably the thing that we're passionate about. But it affects your relationships, it affects your wealth, it affects your health, it affects your relationships. So I take it when you had this profound experience, you decided, like, this is what everybody I speak to, this is what they do. They find something that worked for them, and then they're very passionate about bringing it forward to tell other people about it, which is kind of a nice thing to do, I believe.
I had a profound effect on my body And physically, while I was studying for the exam for Gary Craig, it was a very complicated, it was serious study, I have to say. It's you study several months seriously. And I had been tapping on myself as I was watching the tapes and the video course. It was triggering my own traumas. And I didn't realize that my eyesight had improved. I suffered from, at the time, I was wearing lenses, but at home I was using spectacles. And I couldn't see neither with the lenses nor with the spectacles. It didn't occur to me that my eyesight had improved. It took me months to recognize that I just have to go, because who would have thought? I also suffered from fibromyalgia, severe back pain, and also had all sorts of chronic pains, but particularly before my cycle, before my period. And I didn't realize that I'm no longer having the pain. I found when I was doing some spring cleaning, I discovered bags of painkillers that were not being used, and I had to throw them out. But this is the effect EFT had just by working on my emotional stuff. And I'm going to share similar stories from my students who, by working on the emotional things, they resolved physical ailments that were unable to resolve in any other way, any medical, any physiotherapy, any kind of whatever known way they had available at the time. I had a student, she was a medical doctor, she came to a certification training, and after the training she sent me an email saying, I've been suffering from a back pain for 25 years, and I have tried any possible known cure that I knew as a medical doctor. Nothing worked. And lo and behold, it was gone after the course. And mind you, I haven't even worked on it during the course. I worked on everything else, on the skeleton in the cupboard.
Yes.
I had a client, a young, very successful woman unfortunately, who lost her hearing in 80% as a result of post-traumatic stress disorder. It took her 10 years to look for help. Even then, she was quite still very traumatized, but EFT is that profoundly gentle technique and helped her restore her hearing. She was using hearing aids, and she was so, she was boasting. She was writing me these messages saying, Irena, I've been to my doctors and they reduced the hearing. They had to adjust the hearing aid, and they couldn't believe that I am improving that fast. So
wow.
These kind of stories are so inspiring. I hope that they are inspiring for people who are suffering from things that cannot be helped. And I can go on forever. My colleagues, for example, Carl Dawson himself, the EFT master, he was suffering from back pain and other things. And he was shown EFT by a chiropractor in Thailand. And the chiropractor showed him EFT, emotional freedom technique, and Carl was shouting, I don't have emotional problems. This is a physical problem. I have a herniated disc. And yet he received such relief that nothing else brought to him. Nothing else was able to bring to him. So he went to receive EFT tapping himself, then studied with Gary Craig, and became one of the 28 EFT masters in the world.
Yeah.
Also, another colleague of mine, she's also a trainer in our school, in Carl Dawson School. She suffered from frozen shoulder. for 3 years, she's been doing physiotherapy, any sort of whatever was known to her. And it took her one session of matrix screen printing
That's
to start
incredible.
moving again.
So for those listening that don't know the term matrix re-imprinting, can you explain that, please?
Okay, so let me say a few things about EFT in case people don't know.
Yes.
EFT combines the ancient knowledge, Eastern knowledge about the energy going through the bodies in meridians, and the new Western psychology of how cognition is formed, and in a very simple way, by tapping acupuncture points on the head and upper body. And while focusing on negative, either emotion or thought or sensation in the body, or even physical pain, this releases or deactivates the stress center in the body, the amygdala, and that reduces the stress response in the body. But also, it's so calming that the negative feeling or emotion just goes away in minutes. Even phobias go away in minutes, which is just amazing. So it's a very standard procedure. By tapping these points and focusing on negative things in a certain way, we get rid of them. But a lot of the masters, of the EFT masters, combined EFT with all sorts of other things. And in this case, Carl combined it with imagery work, or with meditation, or with what's going on inside of your mind, by when recalling a traumatic event or bothersome memory, and imagining tapping on the participants in the body, or the past self. And by tapping, that creates some amazing benefit, but also ability to finish the what's going on in this event. It literally recreates in the mind of the person, or being able to do what you were not able to do, or finding resolution, which your subconscious mind is looking for anyway for such bothersome and traumatic memories. So this combination with EFT and meditation can be finished in an imprint, a powerful imprint of the new image that spontaneously is created with the help of the facilitator, and then brought into the body-mind system, because the body and the mind are not separate. And the memory now becomes so vivid, so clear, that replaces the old one. And that image by image, we can literally change our subconscious mind, or change our subconscious negative beliefs. And I know that you've been explaining a lot about negative beliefs, about negative thoughts, and how they literally form our manifestation, or whatever that comes in life.
Absolutely. And have you heard that really, well, I heard somebody saying that the meridian system is compacted fascia. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't.
Which kind of makes, I've been down the fascia rabbit hole, and I thought that makes sense, because we know the information travels through the fascia 6 times faster than the vagus nerve. So, and we know sometimes you can just start tapping and it's literally, it's going, you don't even need to do all the points. It's like, because the body starts to recognize, doesn't it, when you're the intention. And yeah, so I can't remember where I read that, and I thought, oh, damn, because obviously the understanding now that old traumas will heal, the body will heal that itself if we stay in a mindful state long enough. But also And that's a challenge, obviously, for us
It
in the
is a
West.
challenge because
It's a challenge
life
for
is
me as well.
difficult.
So this sort of giving the body the time for the fascia to unravel and return to homeostasis. Obviously, EFT assists that process. So I'm fascinated by it. And it's a crystalline plasma. It's piezoelectric in nature. So,
Yes.
it's this is my passion, the wonder of the human body.
That's amazing.
Isn't
It
it?
is, and I didn't know that.
Well,
But
this
I
is
know that by tapping the acupuncture points, because they're bioactive points, we send a piezoelectric signal. This is
yeah,
exactly what it is,
yeah.
piezoelectric signal,
Ah,
and that moves the energy, because it's a fine energy that goes through the meridians.
yeah,
Oh, that's
absolutely.
amazing.
It's just fascinating. And also explains frozen shoulder, for example, is a particular one that with the fascia guides, they're getting rid of it in minutes, which is an injury that could, like that, take years. So it makes complete sense that you can do it with EFT to me. And I think that's, I like to teach in a way that people can understand why these apparent miracles are happening. And, we've been cutting up the body and cutting into things without understanding, what we're doing. And something as simple as EFT, clarity, intention, attention, I mean, that they say that, all dis-ease has an emotional root cause. If that's the case, we all better get tapping.
Yeah, Lilia, it really it sometimes makes me sad when I see something so
Yeah.
powerful, so easy, and so effective
Mhm.
to not to be known, and so many people to suffer because it's not known, and it could have helped them, and they suffer in look for ages to find a solution for some pain.
Absolutely. I feel like that about breath work. I'm just like, there's people, and the other, letting go technique I use, the Sedona method. I'm like, people are suffering this moment because they do not know about this stuff. And that's why Heal Scotland's on such a mission, because it's like, and then of course people won't believe it because it's far too easy. It can't be
Um,
that easy, especially if you've been carrying that body pain for a long time. But and then
yeah.
suddenly you start tapping and it goes, and you're like, a girl actually said to me one time, what was the label she'd been given was Meniere's disease, and within 6 weeks of working with me, she was completely better. And she said, I feel like a total fanny. She said, had that label for years, and I'm better in this amount of time. And this is the thing, that we're not saying that everybody would be better as quickly as that. I mean, we're all different, but we're all energy and we can all influence our energy. So listen, I know that you're re-inspiring me about EFT and matrix re-imprinting. So you actually teach people how to do this.
Yes, I do. I love teaching them. I really miss the opportunity to see people change in front of my eyes when they do the tapping. But nowadays, everything is online. And here in Edinburgh, I just didn't find a group of tappers just to meet and to have fun, because
Yes,
tapping is fun. It's
absolutely.
also deep work, and it's a direct door to the subconscious mind, which is amazing. But also, it can be big fun. And
Absolutely.
people who do it, I find that they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Just on the same wavelength, and we click together. We just share the same passion, I suppose. When someone resolves an issue with EFT, that makes him the biggest advocate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're opening an academy at Bridge of Weir, which is just like 15 minutes from Glasgow Airport. So you need to come over and we'll run some classes there and get Scotland tapping,
I would
breathing,
love to.
tap. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be amazing because we want to start these communities up. But what we really want to do is bring people in from all over the country and get them taught how to take it into their own communities. Because, yeah, online's wonderful and it allows us to connect in ways we were never able to connect before, but you can't be in person.
No, you can't. Just that the entire experience of in-person tapping is different. It's just 3D. It can't compare it to this camera thing.
Yes, absolutely. So you're going to give us a little demo?
Yeah. Just if I may suggest, maybe finding a nice private area so that you have some privacy. EFT will focus on the negative emotions. So if you are a private person, maybe that would be a nice place if you have privacy. Also, another thing is just be honest with yourself as much as you can, even about the negative things that come up. Be with an open mind and just allow yourself to let it go. Your name. So, would you be my demo? I'm going to invite everyone here who's listening to us or watching us to scan their body for some physical pain or discomfort. If you have a chronic pain, that's easy, but if you don't have a pain at the moment, just look for something that shouldn't be there, some discomfort or tension or heaviness or tightness in the chest. I call it the elephant on my chest.
I
Yeah,
feel
this
like
is
that.
anxiety usually presents this way, or maybe the ball in the stomach, something like this. But just think about it and focus your mind on it. And rate it from 0 to 10. Rate its intensity from 0 to 10. 0 being it doesn't exist, 10 being the top, the max. And what's yours, for example?
To be honest, I'm quite peaceful right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
just um,
there's not.
humor me and
Well, do you know
fictitiously.
what? Maybe because I just had a fish supper.
Oh, a lot of people might have heartburn or tension or tightness in the jaw or
Yeah,
just
I
physical
have.
pain.
Yeah, let's do the jaw because I do catch myself with that sometimes. I'm like, what's happening there? Relax. Yeah,
Mhm.
let's do the jaw.
And rate it from 0 to 10.
Hmm.
And you can share your number, or you're very welcome not to. But I want you to be as specific as possible to this tightness in the jaw, and the other people just think about your pain and be specific. Is it throbbing? Is it piercing? Is it pulsating or shooting? Where is it exactly? Is it on the left, on the right, in the elbow, in the left knee, in the ankle? So
Now that I'm paying attention, I can feel my sinuses slightly as well. So we're all around here. I would say probably a 4.
mhm. It is like a tension or like what? A pressure?
There, in here around the jawline, it's quite a sort of just a dull sensation. It's not a big deal, but I can feel it. And the sinuses are more throbbing slightly.
Mm-hmm. We'll focus both on them, but if you're doing it separate, if you are doing it on your own, try to address each one separately.
Hmm.
We'll just for the Facebook Live, we'll do it this way. And tapping is on the side of the hand. We state the problem and we say something good about ourselves that helps us accept the problem. And then we tap the top of the head, beginning of the eyebrow, each eyebrow, side of the eye, under the pupil of the eye, under the nose, on the chin, in the dimple of the chin, on the collarbones with a hand or with a fist in the center where the men would tie the knot of their ties. I do it with a hand. And then under the armpit, about 10 centimeters, where the bra strap goes for ladies. So let's say, even though I have this dull pain, dull tension in my jaw,
Even although I have this dull tension in my jaw,
and the feeling in the sinuses, what
the
was
feeling
it?
in the sinuses,
I accept myself as I am,
I accept myself as I am.
even though I have this dull tightness in my jaw
Even although I have this dull tightness in my jaw
and this feeling in my sinuses,
and this feeling in my sinuses,
I accept myself and everything I feel.
I accept myself and everything I feel.
And we'll tap on the top of the head, this tightness in my jaw,
This tightness in my jaw,
beginning of the eyebrow, and the feeling in my
and the
sinuses.
feeling in my sinus,
Side of the eye, this tightness in my jaw.
this tightness in my jaw.
Under the eye, it feels so dull.
Feels so dull.
Under the nose, and I have this specific feeling in my sinuses.
I have this specific feeling in my sinuses.
And the other, just think of your pain. This tightness in the jaw,
This tightness in the jaw,
on the collarbone, and the feeling in my sinuses.
and the feeling in my sinuses.
Under the arm, this awkward feeling and tightness.
This awkward feeling and tightness.
And now, if there was an emotion in this feeling, what emotion would it be? Just the first thing that would come to mind. Well, how much discomfort is this bringing to you? How do you feel about your pain? Because sometimes people who are having pain in the shoulder or in the back, they can't move, and they may be feeling frustrated or angry. And I'm just inviting people to tap on these feelings about their pain because of the limitation of the pain. And Lilia, would you join me for tapping on these supposed feelings for people who might be having some?
Do you know what's coming up for me?
Oh,
I mean, I used to have chronic recurrent sinus infections, which were always treated with antibiotics. And then I didn't have them for years. And then last year, I had a couple, not terribly bad. I mean, I got rid of them without any drugs. But it's almost that feeling now when I get that sensation, I start thinking, oh, I hope I'm not going to get another infection.
Yeah, because you have an experience with EFT and you have an open mind, what's going on? And you make a connection between some past events and some past memories that are on the same wavelength, let's say, of the pain or the sensation. But other people don't move that fast. In your case, we may be just tapping on, even though I was afraid that I might get again some infection in my sinuses or inflammation.
Even although I was predicting another infection in my sinus.
I was just a little worried.
I was just a little worried.
I remembered all these old times when I had constant inflammation.
I remember these old times when I had constant inflammation.
I accept myself and everything I went through.
I accept myself and everything I went through.
Even though I've been through a lot with my sinuses. Is this fair to say?
Even although I've been through a lot with my sinuses.
I accept and honor myself.
I accept and honor myself.
And we'll just tap all these things that I've experienced with my sinuses.
All these things that I've experienced with my sinuses. Constant headaches.
constant headaches,
constant headaches,
series of antibiotics.
antibiotics.
And it was relentless.
And it was relentless.
These are my words, but probably you would you use
No, that's
them?
true. It's true. And allergies.
And I had allergies, and
And
it was a
allergies.
lot for me.
It was a lot for me.
On the chin, and I've been dealing with a lot of problems when it came to my sinuses.
I've been dealing with a lot of problems with my sinuses.
On the collarbone, and so much discomfort.
And so much discomfort.
Under the arm, no wonder I was worried.
No wonder I was worried.
When I sensed this dull pain, or strange feeling in my sinuses.
When I sensed this dull pain in my sinuses.
And if you are open to share, how did you feel back in those days? What was going on in your life at that time? You're very open to sharing, or if you...
No, I don't mind sharing. It's totally fine. I was, I think the time when it was at its worst, I was, you know, a single parent and juggling a lot of things, and you know, there was quite a lot of stress in my life as well. Yeah, at that time. Yeah, so, and I had no idea about anything.
Yeah.
How to deal with the symptoms. So I was going to the doctor and I was getting antihistamines and antibiotics, and of course that just made it worse long term.
Thank you very much for being so open about it. It only shows how powerful our mind is and how strong the connection between body and mind is. And although there are periods in our lives when we may not change a lot of things, like you can't just off the table become not a single parent. There isn't a magic wand to change the life circumstances. With EFT, I would have addressed all the emotions that were going on for Lilia at the time, all the difficulties and all the worries that she had been through, all the stress. This is a very good opportunity for people to remember their stressful moments, and we will give it a round of tapping. Would you join me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, and we'll do just, even though I've been through a very stressful period of time.
Even although I'd been through a very stressful period of time.
I honor myself for everything I went through.
I honor myself for everything I went through.
Even though I've been through very stressful periods of life.
Even although I've been through very stressful periods in my life.
And my body was suffering.
And my body was suffering.
And I didn't know any better at the time.
I didn't know any better at the time.
This is over now.
This is over now.
And it's time to heal.
And it's time to heal.
I am honoring my pain and aches at the time.
I am honoring my pains and aches at the time.
All the stress that I went through as a single parent.
All the stress that I went through as a parent.
All the stress that my body went through, suffering from allergies and...
all the stress with the allergies and the pain and the headaches.
It was difficult. It was tough.
It was difficult. It was tough.
But probably it made me the way I am today.
But probably it helped make me the way I am today.
I honor myself for being able to survive.
I honor myself for being able to survive.
And it is time for me to let it go.
And it's time for me to let it go.
And it is time for me to heal.
And it's time for me to heal.
And
And
if you
take my
allow
own
me,
advice.
yeah, and that's why I'm so passionate about healing nowadays.
That's why I'm so passionate about healing nowadays.
Because there are new and so much easier ways to heal.
Because there are new and so much easier ways to heal.
So more natural.
So much more natural.
Yeah. Just take a deep breath. And you can scan the way your jaw or sinuses are feeling, and see if the thing is still there, or if people are tapping with us, they can do the same and just rate again the pain or the tension. Or, by the way, the pain may have moved to a different place in their body, or from different part from the head. If it was a headache, it may move from the front to the back, or the pain may move from the shoulder to the fingertips. It's really
Energy
very
moves.
physical. Exactly. Yeah.
No, I feel it feels really nice and light.
Nice and light. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
And if I may suggest, this is a way I invite people to explore their physical pain and ache.
Mm-hmm.
They may like a tapping point to tap on while they put their hand on the pain, the part of the body that is experiencing the discomfort and the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And while they tap and feel the pain, they can focus, even close their eyes and talk to the organ, or talk to, in your case, the jaws or the sinuses, and say something to your body. Talk to your organ and say, now I'm listening. Now I hear. Now I recognize that you're there. And I am open to hear what you're trying to tell me with the pain or with the discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
And stay like this with an open mind. It could be a sentence, an image, a knowledge, an understanding. Be quiet for a moment. And when you're ready, just come back.
Oh, I like that one.
Did you have an insight?
No, it just felt really nice.
It can be done. Usually people have an insight. Every time I do it for myself, I hear something that I haven't noticed consciously before that, because I'm of the clever ones that knows everything, and I should have known. But of course I'm not. What we know consciously is not the real thing.
Yes.
The subconscious, our subconscious mind is what rules us most of the time, 95% of the time.
Absolutely.
And another way of doing it is, again, by tapping and focusing on our aching body. We can have a conversation. We can send healing. We can pray. Or we can invite the invisible healer that Gary Craig had been talking about. Just we can invite healing, provided we are very honest and willing to change and let go, I suppose.
It's all about the radical honesty, isn't it? And the willingness to let go, because even with the breath work, I'm always let go. Come on, let go some more. It's like, why are we holding on to the past and the pain almost without realizing that we're doing it? So yeah, it's thank you for I'm doing that thinking, why am I not doing more of this? I know it works. I do not need to be convinced, but clearly being re-inspired is very, very helpful. So before we finish up, let's talk about people watching. We know that the big issues that we're hearing about all the time are vertigo seems to be a huge issue these days. Chronic fatigue, like really, really debilitating levels of fatigue and tiredness, and body pain, like fibromyalgia type symptoms. I don't really think it matters what you call it. It's difficult for people. The body's heavy. So what are you seeing? What are you seeing in your world?
For fibromyalgia, I can tell you a case story with a woman. She came to work on her emotional issues, but she suffered from a debilitating fibromyalgia. Although she was fairly young, she couldn't stand up. She couldn't climb to the upper deck of a bus. She had to go, and she had a blue badge because she was going everywhere with her car. She even used a walking stick from time to time, although she was a fairly young woman. It was that bad. The fibromyalgia was that bad. She couldn't stand upright for a very long time. We were working on emotional things, and we just came across a very traumatic experience that she had about New Year's Eve, when she was abandoned, she was lonely, she was separated from her family, she did not receive her her salary on time, so she had to borrow, and she was pretty low and drinking, and so desperate that she made a phone call to one of these helplines and admitted that she's feeling suicidal. And what happened was they sent her two policemen and they arrested her. They threw her in a cell very rudely. And that was traumatic because they stripped her. They were humiliating to her. Gave her a blanket that smelled of puke, and she was in agony. She couldn't believe what was going on. And while the Cogman fireworks were going on, she was in despair. On the next day, she was advised strongly by the doctor at the NIC that she should not make a complaint. It would be best for her. And within a month or two, she developed the fibromyalgia. She, by then, did not see the connection between these traumatic events and but the effect, the body responding. Mm-hmm. In the case of the frozen shoulder, it's a very similar thing. There was a traumatic event or something that had happened, and the meaning that the person had put to it, it's the interpretation sometimes that we make out of the event. Mm-hmm. But with the good thing with EFT and particularly with Matrix, it's the easy access that we have to the subconscious mind, and not just to go in, but to process the trauma, process the horrible emotions that had happened, and even change what had happened back then and draw some conclusions or make new choices for life, instead of feeling the victim,
Yeah.
in this
Powerless.
case, as she was. To claim your to claim the personal power back again.
Absolutely. That's it. That's it. It's all about power and being powerless or powerful. And, it's like Roger Hamer's work. He discovered after his son died and he was diagnosed with cancer 3 months later, and he just knew it
Yeah.
was the trauma of that. And then, so he started doing his research on that, and then, realizing German new medicine, it's a very similar, it's not
Yeah.
even similar, it's exactly the same concept, is that the body's holding the score, and that score, if it's been very painful or perceived to have been traumatic, that can become a physical issue. We know that.
The body keeps the score. That's a book.
Yes.
Are you referring to that?
Yes.
Or The Body Bears the Burden. The Body Keeps the Score by Wessel van der Kolk. He's a trauma expert. Indeed, such events that we felt isolated and had no strategies, they're UDIN events. They create an illness response in our physical body.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's held in the fascia. That's where it seems to be held. And that's why acupressure, acupuncture, EFT, reflexology, they're all working on that.
If I can go back to vertigo, you asked me about vertigo. It is about not being stable or not having good balance. So if people work on what in life is preventing them having balance or losing stability or not having proper footing or good base or stability in general in life, addressing the emotional aspect of the physical illness will help them in big chunk to get rid of the physical complaint. Because in any physical complaint or physical pain, there is a psycho-emotional component, and by addressing it, even to physical trauma, even to something, you hurt yourself physically, you've fallen, you hit yourself, or you had a burn, even then, I've seen it times and times again, because we've been tapping on the certification courses on this, people presented trauma, recent trauma, after tapping to on the experience of the fall or the burn or whatever happened causing the pain. The pain subsided. The pain subsided.
I know. I've seen it myself over and over and over again. It's because, well, the way I teach it is when we have a sensation in the body that we call pain, and then we judge it and we literally hold on to it, the very thing that we actually should observe and release, we go, oh no, this is how I'm feeling again. This is that pain again. And with this contraction, change in the change of chemistry, it's just different angles of looking at it. But yeah, listen, it's been so lovely to meet you. And we're having an open day up at Quarriers on Saturday. I don't know if you're busy on Saturday.
I have a demonstration on Saturday here in Edinburgh.
I'll get when I move back. I'm moving up there at the end of March, so I'll definitely get you over to see the place and see the academy. Do you do private one-to-one sessions?
Yes, I do online. But also I'm doing live demonstrations. They're group sessions on different subjects, like becoming calm and peaceful, or working with overwhelm, or working with procrastination in a fun way.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Amazing.
about our inner rebel, and I've discovered it only recently. And I have, it's so funny, just indulging, being rebellious. It's so liberating that people, we have big fun, we laugh our socks off. And then at the end, we have a different perspective about what we are postponing. We become very clear of what's causing the procrastination.
I think that's a brilliant one.
It's a
Absolutely
very
brilliant.
deep work. Yeah, it's procrastination is on, I think, on 25th of February, next Wednesday. Yeah, but all are here in Edinburgh, in Salisbury Centre.
Salisbury Centre, great. What's the best way for people that are watching to contact you?
They can reach on my telephone or on Facebook. They can find me on Facebook. Just write Irena Relyovska-Barton or Irena Barton, and I'll get the message.
Okay, what's your email address?
It's Irena at EFT4success.eu.
Irena,
The 4 is like number
right,
4.
so Irena at EFT
Number 4, for success.eu.
for success.eu. I'm just seeing all the messages now. Hi, Susan, Clara, Paul. Thank you all for joining. I've put Irena's, so for all the therapists wanting to upskill into the EFT world, super inspiring, Irena. Thank you so much. And for anybody that needs a one-to-one, you can email Irena and get that organised. And hopefully she's going to be coming to some of our festivals, and she'll definitely be in our academy when it opens. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lilia. And thanks for sharing my passion for EFT.
Yes, it's absolutely wonderful. Such a simple thing to do. And, you know, I taught my grandkids as well, because I'm like, you know, it's just so powerful to show them that you can change how you feel. I mean, I was a victim of my emotions for so long. I wish somebody had taught me, you know. So, yeah, great. Well, thank you, everybody. And if you're watching this on replay, if you've got any questions, just let us know. Email Irena, and the address, I've popped it in the box there. And good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank all the audience that joined us live and are going to watch us later.
Yes. Ciao now, guys.